My name is Alex Epperly. I am a dermatology physician assistant at Dermatology Associates and Surgery Center. So I've done different medical volunteer trips previously in the past. I've been to India, Mexico, and El Salvador. The last conference that I was at, it's a Society of Dermatology for Physician Assistants. I was in the event hall and they had a table from a company called Passion to Heal. Passion to Heal offers different dermatology opportunities to volunteer your time. And so I looked into the program. They had two different opportunities, one in India and one in Kenya. I had been to India before, so I decided to apply for the Kenya position and was selected. Passion to Heal selects dermatology providers across the nation, and then we all volunteered and ended up flying to Kenya. We worked in different medical clinics, and our goal being there was to provide skin evaluations at the Baraka Hospital and Clinic, and then also do different skin evaluations for different communities and schools in the area. The access to healthcare in the area, it's a rural environment, so we had patients coming from all around the area to come and see us for skin evaluations. So I think in the United States, we take access to healthcare for granted, and the area that we were in Kenya, the Maasai area, it was a rural area, and a lot of times just access to clean water, food, and healthcare can be difficult. And so we were able to set up a temporary clinic and do skin evaluations for many different skin conditions, and then treat them with the medications that we had available at that time. It makes you kind of refocus and take for granted the access to healthcare that we have in the United States. And we were able to offer our time and services during that trip. So a lot of common run-of-the-mill conditions we saw, but they didn't have the proper medication or treatment. And some of the conditions we had to see different activities that may put them at higher risk, and then do patient education as far as if we do behavior modification to change some of those activities, it can prevent some of the skin conditions later on, especially in small communities. Just the education can definitely prevent. In the communities where we worked with the school children, you have a lot of kids all in kind of close proximity, and so there were a lot of fungal diseases. We saw quite a few cases of scabies, we saw eczema, we saw different psoriatic disease, and so we were able to educate them with behavior modification that would help with some of these, and then also treat them for those conditions as well. With the program, they didn't want to give handouts, they wanted to give hand-ups, or give the people skills and so they could be sustainable on their own. And so they definitely advocated them to use their traditional methods, and one of the methods they did was the beading. And so the women in the villages practiced beading, and then they would sell the beads for different fundraising opportunities. They did this primarily for the water catchment systems that they used. So they would make these beads and then sell the necklaces to fund the different projects they were doing throughout the community. This is a traditional, it's like a club. It's a tool instrument, also a weapon that they would use. And so they would throw it kind of like a boomerang, but it would kind of rotate and then hit the object. So this was one of the tools that the Maasai warriors would carry around. And this is their traditional material that they would wrap themselves with as well. Going to Africa, I thought it was going to be very hot the entire time, but it got quite cool in the evenings and in the morning as well. So while we were there, we would go with the Maasai warriors, and they would hike us around the camp that we stayed at. We saw lots of wildlife, giraffes, zebras, hippopotamus. So it was definitely a different scene than Charleston, West Virginia. So I think the takeaway was, I enjoy this type of trip. I've done it many times before, I feel like I have a heart for helping people, and kind of evaluating this trip and seeing what you take away from it. The access that we have to healthcare here in the United States, not everyone has that same access or ease of accessibility, but also the access to clean water, food, shelter. I definitely think it makes you reevaluate your priorities in life and focus on what's important in life as well. So there was a mural in one of the clinics that kind of hit home to me, and it made an impact, and I took a picture of it and have it hang in my office. And it's 100 years from now, it won't matter how rich we are, but how important we were to the children in our lives. And I think that that's very important, and I feel like the people of Kenya and the clinics that we work in definitely taught me that, and that's something that I took home, took a piece of that home with me. So. The people and generosity and the children that we worked with in Kenya definitely, are just kids. They want to have a fun life, and I think the people are definitely what it was about for me in making those connections with them.